Hello guys. So I wanna go through a couple of things with you for our strings recording, okay? I'm having here an example of a score. As you can see, it's been orchestrated for full string ensemble with a pretty decent amount of divisi, right? Um, This also provides a lot of interesting possibilities for doubling. So I want to go through with you how to extract the parts and make some decision. First thing, I want to make sure that we are on the same page with the layout of your scores. Okay, measure numbers under each bar. Um, to achieve that, you go to edit measure number in region and you follow basically this diagram here. Show only on bottom stuff, excluding the other one. You can decide to enclose your numbers into a rectangle, show every one measure at the beginning with measure 1, and then you can set your font and set your position by dragging manually where see you put the alignment to center, justification to center, and you drag the position of the measure number. Okay, so this is a good possibility. Another possibility is to position the measure number on top of the bar like that without the enclosure. That's fine too, as long as it's easy to communicate with the player and they can see it. Then this is not my orchestration. Here the orchestrator put a some rehearsal letters, very helpful, and we'll see in a moment why are they helpful. But it's basically they don't break. They do break the multi-measure rest. So I always advise to have both measure number and rehearsal letter, and use measure number to communicate with the engineer and rehearsal letter to communicate with your ensemble. Okay. Um, I would, for example, add another letter right here. That's because there is a beginning that can be practiced separately. Um, Here's the orchestrator also put double bar like that at the beginning of important sections. That is also helpful visually to kind of have some point of reference so the score doesn't look all the same. I find it helpful. Um, and for the rest, as you can see, he marked the phrasing with a dotted slur that you find in the menu down here. See? But overall, this is a pretty complete score. All the dynamics needs to be there. There are some collision that needs to be fixed, but overall, everything looks fine. So if you press Command E to go to the page view, we can take a look at how it looks like. Now here the formatting is on 11 by 17, as you can see, which is okay. It's fine with that. It's less page turn. Some conductor get lost into big scores, so they prefer other formats, smaller formats, but that's really up to what you are comfortable with. You're gonna have to conduct the score. I discourage from having 8 or 10 bars in one page. As you conduct, your eyes may tend to wonder where they are, as you have to look at the ensemble in the eyes also every once in a while. Um, I think if I go to page layout and page size and I put it, um, also turns out this is actually letter size, it's just very, very, very small. So let me see, there are two things to check here. If it is, so the zoom is not being touched, which means what has been touched is the page resize, which it hasn't either, so it is the system reduction that's been touched. Right, there you go. So if you put this back to 100%, you get back to the full scale of the notation, and you can reformat the score the way you want. There is a shortcut for how many measure and system you want on each page, and we're going to use it for the part extraction in the next video, but it works really well on the score too. You can select the page tool down here, go to page layout, and click on space system evenly, all pages, place. Let's try 3 system each page. They're gonna collide right now because they're too big, but then I can go back to stuff system reduction and maybe put it, I don't know, 90%. Okay, now if I space that again, because Finale is not that fast, so I give you the input again. Now you should have 3 systems fairly spaced, except for the first page, which is always a bit more congested. But this situation for me with a little bit less bar per system would probably be better. The way to fix the first page, you can also simply zoom from the current page only and put it at 90, and then oops, it zoomed the entire thing. All right. Actually, let's use the manual tool for this. You can just take care of the first page individually. I'm not gonna do it right now because with the video recording it's going way too slow, but you got the idea, right? The other shortcut I wanted to show you is Shift Command M, and you can decide to lock your system with a certain number of measures. Let's try to put 6 and see what happens. Oops, it did it on my selection only, so don't select all and then do it. Shift Command M, 6 measure per bar. There you go. Okay. 6, 4, 8, how many you prefer. All right. So make sure you print 2 of those for the session, and measure number, reversal letter, double bars if needed. Don't forget this expression. In this session we have, for this orchestration, we had this amount of time per piece, but given you have only half an hour, I would write here forte decisive, or forte with strength, you know. Tell your players how you want the sound to be. Mezzo piano warm, mezzo piano bright, mezzo piano, I don't know, it's your piece, okay? Alright, so in the next video we're going to take a look at some part extraction.